the Wizards, but it's a win, and the Jazz needed it. There were some things that were interesting about the game, about the win. What's going on with the Jazz? Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd Show. All right, before we get into it, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Prize Picks. Guys, go to prizepicks.com. The promo code's right there, Hoops Nerd. Go use it. They will match up to $100 right now. You bet the over on a player, you hit it on 2, they triple the money down. And if you put $5, they'll give you $5. That's $30. Free money, guys. Go to prizepicks.com. Try it out. It's a lot of fun. You will be happy. And I'll be happy too because it supports the channel. So thank you. All right, the Utah Jazz get a much-needed win against the Washington Wizards, who had just found out before the game that they had lost their coach. And so there was a little bit of trap game potential with this one. Usually teams, and it honestly started out that way. The Wizards came out and played pretty well to start the game. And so there was a little bit of like, oh my gosh, are the Jazz going to lose to the Washington Wizards? Luckily, the Jazz turned it around, but they were down like 16-4, something like that to start the game. So nice of the Jazz to turn things around. But that's one thing the Jazz need to stop doing, is allowing teams to start fast on them. And really, the big problem with this Jazz team is the defense. Now, I tweeted this out. If you follow me on Twitter, that's great. Sometimes I think people regret it. But, well, in fact, I know they do because I've had people tell me in person. But anyways, if you'd followed me, I put a tweet out there. I tweeted a tweet about the Jazz the last 3 games during the losing streak. One reason why they have been losing these games, they rank dead last in those 3 games defensively. And tonight, it started to look like it was a little bit of that happening again. Just to start the game, they're just not getting to those 3-point shooters. Luckily, the Jazz figured it out. And so actually, I'm kind of curious, and let's see if we can do this really quick. The Jazz just have to figure out their issues defensively. Look at this. The Jazz right now are number 2 in the NBA in rebounds per game, which is a pretty interesting stat. The Jazz just have some things they've got to figure out. So advanced. Let's see. Let's just go to today. From today to today. Let's get the stats. So what was based off of today? They were, well, I guess that doesn't tell us anything. But the Jazz had a 104 defensive rating, 119. So pretty good. But during that stretch of the last 3 games, they are the worst defensive team in the NBA. They were actually number 14 offensively during that 3-game losing streak, but the defense has been putrid. And I know some people mentioned, well, they've played some really good teams, which is true. You're playing like the Oklahoma City Thunder, you're going to get scored on, and that is true. But to be scored on at that level is bad. And there were some things that I think we saw tonight as well, that I think there are some cracks in this foundation the Jazz need to address, and they need to address it at trade deadline. They need to make some decisions, honestly. The Jazz need to do. So anyways, just looking quickly at the Wizards, they are not a good basketball team. But they did have who's probably, in my opinion, probably the most impactful guy outside of their rookies that just need time to develop. Daniel Gafford is nice. I mean, if I'm an NBA team out there looking for a backup center like the Jazz, Daniel Gafford is great. And he comes in and blocks shots. And look at this, 6 for 7 from the field, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks. He's just solid. In a bad loss for the Wizards, he was a plus or minus of 0. So pretty impressive stuff from Gafford. And if he's like your backup center, you're doing pretty well. He's really solid. And so he's the type of player from one of these teams that if you needed that guy, like honestly, if the Oklahoma City Thunder wanted a real chance to go pretty far, if I'm them, I try to get Daniel Gafford, someone like that, to back up Chet Holmgren. And let's go scoot over. I got my head cut off here. Let's just hope I don't unplug the computer. But anyways, he's the type of guy that could really help someone out, you know. And I know some people are looking at Tyus Jones, who, I mean, tonight, look at this, 14 assists. He's a solid player. If he's your, that's the thing, is the Wizards have some players that if they're your backup, they're pretty nice, but they're starting all these guys. And so it's why they're not very good. Tyus Jones comes out and he's been successful in other places. Look at this, 12 points, 14 rebounds. So pretty nice. I loved Bilal in the draft, and he's shown me nothing but promise. I mean, 0 for 5 from the field, but I think he's going to be absolutely awesome. His defense is incredible. Look at that, 3 steals. Watch out for Bilal. In like 2 years, he's going to be really good. All right, let's talk about the Jazz. This is a Jazz channel, so let's talk about the Jazz. Enough about the Wizards. Uh, let's just talk about the last two. The one player that in these last 3-4 games has been playing extremely well, at least shooting it, is Simone Fontecchio. Tonight is absolutely the same thing. He takes 3 shots, but 2 of them he knocks them down. So he hit his goal. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, plays solid defense. Simone Fontecchio is becoming such a weapon, and it's nice to see him start getting some consistency. He doesn't have to be 66% from 3 every night, but if he's consistently knocking these down, hitting 2 a game, I hate how those come on. But anyways, 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3. Really nice. Lauri Markkanen was a beast in this game. Just absolutely vintage Lauri Markkanen. Extremely efficient, 11 for 20, 6 for 12 from 3. Nice to see, because the last 2 games he had been not hitting his threes, and there was a mini shooting slump there, and so it's nice to see him kind of break out of that. 7 rebounds, but the thing to get excited about is this right here, the 5 assists. And now, actually, I meant to do this before the show started, but we're going to go right now. Markkanen has started to really move the ball well. Like, this is just Jazz fandom, people who watch the Jazz closely, outside of Jazz fandom, outside of the Jazz hoops nerds out there, not going to see this stuff. But guess what? We, as the hoops nerd family, are seeing it, and it's impressive what Markkanen is doing. Let's see. Let's go to the game log here. And let's just look. So here's assists right here. I mean, he has been consistently. You look at what happened. Look at this. So he had a stretch to start this year. Look, he had 1 game with 5 assists. 1. But then you look at all these other games. Look, 1, 3's pretty good, but 0, 1, 1, 1. 3 here's pretty good, 0. And then look at this stretch. This was when the Jazz were really struggling. Remember, the Jazz turned things on around December 13th. And you can see when Lauri was resting from an injury here, actually. But look at this. 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. The Jazz were absolutely struggling in a big-time way. Markkanen gets injured and rests. But look at this. He comes back, and look at these numbers. 4, 1, 5, 2, 5, 1, 5, 5, 3, 4. Tonight he had 5. He is consistently getting more and more assists. So it's almost, in a way, I want to look at this right here. So let's just look at the average. From game 1 to game 15, he was averaging 1.1 assists. Let's see if this looks different when you go back to being healthy. In fact, let's not do this one. Let's start here. No, come on. No, get off. There we go. Okay, start here. And this doesn't even include his 5 tonight. Look at this. He's averaging 2.5. He's almost tripled his assists per game. It's awesome to see. He is becoming an impressive passer. Now, it's not like playmaking passing. It's not like him running a pick and roll, getting the screen, snake dribbling, and then throwing the lob. But it is him moving the ball within the offense. We saw it tonight. He has that one play where he drives to the basket and he sees Walker Kessler driving to the basket, and he hits him in stride and he dunks the ball. It's nice to see. If Markkanen can average 3 assists per game, are you kidding? That changes everything about his game. Then all of a sudden, he's not just finishing plays. And I know he's the finisher, but sometimes he needs to be the passer too, And when he's going 3 assists per game, or 2.5 a game is fine, then that means that the defense doesn't have to just, if the defense knows that when the ball goes to Lauri, he's just going to shoot it, that creates problems. What that does is that means that when they see that ball go to Markkanen, and believe me, the teams will scout it and they will recognize these things, because they've done it with JC in the past. But when they see him get the ball, and if they know he's not going to pass it, then you can double and you can just go hard at Markkanen, especially if he's in isolation or something like that. You don't have to guard anyone else, right? Because if he's not going to make the pass, you don't have to. but just knowing that he can make that pass and make the right play. Tonight they were impressive plays, by the way. The one to Kessler was great, but I saw one where Markkanen drove to the basket and then did one of those pass out to the 3-point lines. Basically a Donovan Mitchell level of assist. Nice to see. The development is happening. I mean, the crazy thing about Markkanen is he's getting better, and they are subtle things, but they're starting to add up. And the big thing is the passing, his recognition. And look at this, 3 steals tonight. I know it's the Wizards, but this is what you should do against a team like the Wizards. If you're a star, you should crush them. And Markkanen did. So that is really nice to see. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Maybe he gets the next triple-double for the Jazz one of these nights. John Collins had a monster night tonight. And I tell you what, at one point I was watching and I just was saying, you know what, we need to be grateful John Collins is on this team. In a lot of ways, he's been able to help this team a lot. Because Kessler has had an up and down year. He's getting better. Sorry, my toe hurts. Ouch. There we go. Kessler, that's why you guys watch this show. That's what you're here for, toe updates. But anyways, Walker Kessler has had a strange year stemming back from USA basketball. And, you know, having John Collins has been an incredible safety net. And the Jazz have started him, and it has opened some things up for the offense because the Jazz offense has gotten better, and the Jazz defense has actually been pretty good. And what it does is it allows the floor to be spread. There were some things I noticed with John Collins on the floor that helps out a lot of different players, not just the starting unit. Having John Collins on the floor just helps other players play better. You have a 5-out offense at times if you want. It's a more spread floor. So if you have guys that can beat their man, like Colin Sexton, things get easier. And it takes advantage of talent from someone like Sexton who can absolutely blow by everybody. Get in focus, camera. All right, so it's a big deal. And so when John Collins has nights like tonight where he goes 11 for 15, 16 rebounds, and let's see, no blocks tonight, but he did have an assist and a steal, but he played really well. 22 points, 16 rebounds is big-time stuff. And so it's nice to see John Collins playing well. And he seems to be getting better and understanding things. There was that report earlier in the year that the team was frustrated he wasn't learning things or whatever. Well, he appears to be understanding them pretty well, and Will Hardy seems to trust him pretty hard and is starting him. And since he's been, starting and with this unit, and it has probably contributed to Colin Sexton playing better. I'm not going to lie. There is probably some correlation there. Not all of it. Colin Sexton is making much better decisions and playing much more unselfishly in a lot of ways. You see that tonight, 6 assists, but definitely benefiting from having John Collins on the floor. Interestingly enough, Sexton and Dunn only play 16 minutes in this one, and I don't know if that's to give them rest or if Will Hardy just wanted to give minutes to the bench. I mean, the Jazz were pretty much up big, and so it is probably one of those things where he's just trying to give them some rest because the Jazz still have a couple games on this road trip. And so pretty nice that the Jazz can allow Sexton and Dunn to just play this small amount, win the game. But in just 16 minutes, look at this, 6 assists for Colin Sexton. He was great tonight and didn't have to play all that long. 4 for 11, someone who didn't watch the game might go like, 36%, but Sexton played well. He was assisting the ball, playing within the offense. I liked it. You'd like it obviously to be better than this, but solid play from Sexton, and then Chris Dunn as well. Look at this, 2 for 4 from the field, 3 assists. Great defense from Chris Dunn. Not much you can be disappointed about. And the nice thing is that they rested. Look at this also. Kessler didn't have it tonight, and this is honestly a calling card of Will Hardy. This is what makes me happy with Will Hardy. One of the things. I have many things, but this is one of the major ones. Look at how these players weren't, I guess shooting the ball well. Kessler had an interesting night. He only has, he has 5 fouls, which is probably contributing to his sitting on the bench. But look at that, 3 rebounds and 4 points. And he plays just 15 minutes. If you don't have it that night, Will Hardy doesn't play you that long, And I think tonight we saw the foul trouble. This is probably not him playing poorly as much as it was just he got 2 or 3 early fouls, and it was basically, kept him out of the game. But luckily, the Jazz had John Collins, like we said. Having that nice safety net is a big deal. But not much to say about Kessler. He was in foul trouble tonight. I actually didn't think he played all that poorly. It's just one of those nights where he got in foul trouble. So Jordan Clarkson shoots 41% from the field, 25 from three. He had 8 assists in this one. Jordan Clarkson and Kelly Olynyk. Let's see. Kelly Olynyk actually had a really nice night offensively. He had a better second half. I noticed something interesting. Will Hardy ran with this group for a long time. Look at this. 30 minutes for Clarkson, 31 for Keontae, 20 for Ochai, and 21 for Olynyk. This actually is probably lower than it would have normally been because Will Hardy subbed him in like not midway, but near the beginning of the second quarter, which was actually later than he normally comes in. I've noticed that normally this trio, Clarkson, Keontae, and Kelly, usually come in at the same time. And Olynyk in the 3-game losing streak, guys, has been terrible. He has been a major reason why this Jazz team has been so bad defensively. He's basically doing cardio out there, just going up the court, but he's not rebounding the ball, not defending particularly hard. And there was a few moments tonight, but you'll give him a little slack against a Wizards team. So it's nice to see him shooting. He had definitely had a great shooting night. Look at this, 8 for 11, 3 for 4 from 3. It was definitely falling. The rebounds are down with him, though. It's weird. 4 rebounds and 2 assists. So nice night from Kelly Olynyk. Really nice to see. Ochai got extended run tonight, which was nice. I don't know why he can't impact the game statistically more. He just doesn't. But although I will say, these are the cracks I'm seeing, and this is something I'm talking about. I want to bring up an interesting graphic I saw online. Look at this graphic. These are the best 5-man lineups in the last 15 games. And I thought this was really interesting. You have Keontae George. So everyone who makes comments about Keontae George, well, guess what? The third best 5-man lineup in the entire NBA in the last 15 games involves Keontae George. All right? So if you think he's not playing well, you need to be more specific about what he's not doing well. And by the way, we need to give Walker Kessler some credit. And I probably have been harder on him than anybody. But he is part of this, like, plus 19 net rating. This is third best in the NBA. And this is up there with the Cavs, who are absolutely obliterating teams. And you'll notice this is just 61 minutes. So this is small sample size. But this is something I think we're going to see more of. It really shows you the cheat code that is having Markkanen at the 4. And then it makes sense with Kessler at the rim, protecting the rim. Jordan Clarkson with Keontae George works. Interesting that it's not Kelly Olynyk. But anyways, there's some weird things going on. I'm going to make a video about it because there was one point where you could see frustration from Keontae with Kelly Olynyk just not passing him the ball. And there's some elements where it's just like, I don't even know what Keontae's supposed to do out there. And I know the shot's not falling right now. It has not been falling. 1 for 6 is not good. So if anyone wants to say, oh, he's not playing well, the shot is... Well, playing well is, you need to be more specific because he's not shooting well. He's not shooting well, but I would argue he's playing well. And what he's doing is supporting Jordan Clarkson and Kelly Olynyk. He brings the ball up every single time. And if you talk to any former NBA players, one of the most tiring things in an NBA game is dribbling the ball up, especially when they're pressing you. It is kind of one of the more underappreciated pieces of work an NBA player has to do because it's hard. You're being defended. Sometimes you're getting guarded full court. You're bringing it up. It takes energy and effort to bring that up. And that's what Keontae's doing. And what it allows Jordan Clarkson to do is all he has to do is wait for Keontae George to come up, initiates the action, and then sets JC up for the shot. And so Keontae's taken only 6 shots in this game, and it sets Jordan Clarkson up for 17 shots and 11 for Kelly Olynyk. All right? I'm getting close to being pissed. Okay? 17 field goal attempts for Jordan Clarkson, 11 for Kelly Olynyk. Between the two, that's 28. Guess who was on the floor the same amount of time? Keontae George. He took 6. He gets 6 shots in 31 minutes. So guess what? He has a right to be a little pissed off if Kelly Olynyk won't pass him the ball. Okay? You are going to go out and take all these shots. and whine and have garbage body language if you don't get the shots you want. It is hypocritical, and it pisses me off, and it sure as heck's pissing him off. And he's been the one willing to do it. He's passing it off to them, allowing them to get the buckets. But he's not getting the ball passed back. It's got to change. It's going to initiate a trade. But you cannot expect someone to not get pissed off when Jordan Clarkson gets 17 field goal attempts and Kelly Olynyk gets 11 and refuses to move the ball back. And by the way, the percentages are not always this good. They are not. And the turnovers are usually a lot higher than this. So we got to give credit to Kelly Olynyk for having a nice night against the Washington Wizards. But something tells me that when you are doing all the yeoman's work of bringing the ball up, taking the screens, going around the screens, initiating the action, and then passing it off, and then when they literally never pass it back to you, it becomes Kelly Olynyk and JC two-man game, and they're taking all the shots, that gets annoying. And by the way, the last 3 games, they have not won. So these two are getting all the shots on offense, all of them, and they are not playing defense on the other end. Kelly Olynyk, rebound the ball! Rebound the ball! Put your body in front of their man and rebound the ball! If you're going to get all these shots and you're not going to move the ball around, rebound the ball! Get in there! Rebound the ball! Do your job! You are going to get traded so fast if you don't move that ball to the open man. If you are Keontae George on this court and you have an open lane to the basket and they don't pass the ball to you and you watch them turn the ball over, then you have to go back and go stop their transition play and they have the audacity to not pass it back, I'd be pissed too. I'd be mad as well. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So if you're not playing defense, you're not moving it, guess what? You're going to Cleveland, buddy. It's going to happen. Enjoy going back to Detroit. Okay? Does Charlotte sound good? Enjoy North Carolina. Because it's not going to be here for long if you're playing like this. It is the 100% reason why the Jazz lost their last 3 games. 30th in the NBA defensively. And they can't seem to figure out that passing the ball around is going to help things out. They're not even beyond average offensively, by the way. So it's a bunch of garbage. Move the ball. Move the ball. Move it. If you've got an open man, move the ball. That's that. That pisses me off. It makes me mad. You cannot run an effective offense if you have certain guys not moving the ball. Now, maybe that's the point. Maybe that's what they want to happen is have JC and Kelly Olynyk run every single action. But when you have open guys and they're not making the pass, it's not happening. And now maybe that's why we don't have the confidence in Keontae George, who, by the way, looked all rookie earlier in the year. Now he's all of a sudden not good. Now he's not good. All of a sudden he just forgot how to play basketball. You think that's what's going on? Maybe it's because he literally never gets an action within the offense with an advantage. Maybe that's why. When literally the only shot you get to take is a last-ditch spot-up 3, maybe that's why it's not working. And if your team's not helping you build confidence, then you're not going to have it. I bet you Kelly Olynyk and JC would get pretty pissed if they weren't getting the ball back, which, by the way, every single time they struggle, we have to sit and watch them mope up the court. Well, guess what? That's what they're doing to him, and that's why the Jazz have to make a trade sooner than later. February 8th can't come fast enough. It can't get here quick enough. I personally am tired of it. Personally, it's annoying. It's not fun to watch. It's not good. You know, they're not good enough to be acting like this. It's not good enough. If you're not defending at all, then you better be shooting better than 41% and 25% from 3. I can tell you that. Having, honestly, earlier in the season, one of the worst statistical years of the career. All right? It was bad. Move the ball. Move the ball. Whew. Can you tell that was building up? I had to get that out. All right. Ochai Abaji, please hit a shot. I don't know. I kind of feel like Ochai might be on the trade block. We need him to start hitting shots. Eventually, it's got to go down. Eventually, he's got to start hitting them. Eventually. Please. I know he's not getting a lot of attempts because of the same thing we're talking about, by the way. And another thing, Mr. Olynyk, is Taylor Hendricks is waiting to get on the floor. Right? Taylor Hendricks is going to be a great defensive player. And you know what happens when you put someone like Taylor Hendricks on the floor? You start improving defensively pretty quickly. Going from number 30, you have only one way to go, and that's up. And if these players aren't playing hard, then why are they playing? You know? That's why he came in later in the game. And there's a reason Keontae played 31 minutes. So, if you think he's not playing well, then why is he playing 31 minutes? It's one less than the Jazz's best player, Lauri Markkanen, okay? 7 assists, by the way. 7. And that's with not getting the ball. What happens when they open things up, Taylor Hendricks on the floor, and we let the guy actually run actions? Because when he gets to go to the basket, look, he's taken 4 free throws. This is without the ball in his hands. All right? Are we clear? Are we capiche? Are we a little square on this? Because it's pissing me off. It's bugging me a lot. Yes. Does he need to shoot the ball? Yes. Better? Yes, he does. He's shooting it terribly. The percentages right now are literally like 0 because he can't hit a shot. But that's not everything. And he's defending. I don't know. I'm not seeing those, Jordan. Let me see. The chat might not be working tonight. Crud. Are you guys doing super chats? I'm only seeing 3 things in the chat, guys. I'm sorry. If you did a super chat, it's not showing me. So I'm sorry if you did. But if you sent me super chats, Jordan, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, guys. But literally, this is all I'm seeing right here. Let me show it to you. You guys can see. That's all I see. So if you did a super chat, it's not showing it to me. Crud, it just went down. No. Oh, boy. Oh, man. What's going on here? Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. There we go. Ugh, I got mad and lost my cool. It doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's usually because something's pissing me off over like a couple weeks. And then it usually comes out. But anyways, I need Ochai to do something better. But I tell you what, it's the same thing going. There's a 2-man game with this unit. It's Kelly Olynyk and Jordan Clarkson. That's it. They really kind of seem like that's all they want to move the ball to, and that's all they want to play with. And it's causing issues, and it's putting cracks in the foundation, and it's not great for the vibes. And when you're winning, it's fine, right? When you're winning, it's great. When you're losing, it's not. It's absolutely not. And things change. So it'll be interesting see how the Jazz go from here. But I tell you what, I personally was not happy. Not happy with it. And when people write comments on the channel and they tweet at me and say things like Keontae's terrible and all these things, well, guess what? I guess I don't expect everyone to watch the game the same way I do. We all have our own opinions. But when I'm watching it, I'm trying to just watch how that ball moves. And it really doesn't move a ton. It really doesn't. It's really like Keontae comes down, there's either a screen or he just literally just sends it to JC and he kind of goes to work. And if that initial action with JC doesn't work, then it typically ends up with Kelly Olynyk and he tries to initiate an action. That's it. That's what the second unit is. And that's fine if you're winning and it's going in at a high level, which in their defense, it has been a lot of these games. Jordan Clarkson, during that winning stretch, was playing 6th man of the year type stuff. But when you're not playing defense, and shots aren't falling, that's what happens. And that's why the Jazz went on a 3-game losing streak, right? and you start getting lazy with your ball movement and you start not setting guys up for better shots and you're just taking the easy shot. And, even tonight, the Jazz were down in this game. And I would say, this was a pretty good win, but it's the Wizards. Utah needs to figure out how to get back to defending. And, I don't know. It wasn't super impressive tonight, but it was good enough to get the win, which is all you can expect. All right, I was mad. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I got mad, but you know what? Things had to be said. It really did. I want Taylor Hendricks on the floor, by the way. In fact, I need to do some more. Can I just, all right, there's a few things. It's been a tough week for me. I'm going to be not going to lie. The last couple weeks have been kind of rough. We had the thing happen with Junior Jazz where technically I got ejected from the game. Technically, although the city called me the next day and apologized, said I should not have been ejected. But we have some things going on, not big problems or anything like that, but it's just been a stressful couple weeks. I'm ready to get back and hit things hard. I was able to talk to the agency. Like, one thing that I was super excited about and I've been really bummed about this year is I got signed up with BBTV, NBA Playmakers. I'm an NBA affiliate. The agent that I worked with, he never talked to me. He never helped me out. I would just never got anything within my contract that they had promised me. And I had gone like 4 months. And that's with an agent. They're taking agency fees and stuff. And so it's been honestly depressing. Like, oh, I made this like horrible move. I made this bad mistake. I have wasted my time. And I got to talk to they fired that guy. Thank goodness. I finally got to talk to the right guy, helping me out with this channel that can help it grow, giving me some great ideas and honestly motivation, which has been really nice. So that was a big boost to me. But that, I tell you what, that has been something that really bugged me this year. And I've just been trying to power through it. And I'm finally feeling kind of refreshed, which is really nice. Because I love doing this. And it sucks if I make a mistake with the channel. I make them a lot. But sometimes when it's something that's out of your control and you kind of trusted somebody, it didn't go well. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. And so it's nice to see that turning around. I'm probably not going to fire them now. So, you know what? I would love Rich Paul to represent me. You know what? I'll take that Rich Paul. Did you know he's the #1 agent in the entire NBA, by the way? I was looking up agents and players and trying to kind of that's when you're an ultra nerd, probably a weirdo, maybe insane a little bit, is when you start memorizing agents for players and you're starting to try to connect dots between agents and teams and agents who are agents of this player on this team and an agent of a player on this team. And sometimes you can't connect the dots. Like the Jazz have clutch players, and THT playing earlier in the year 100% was because Rich Paul is his agent and the clutch play and them kind of trying to throw their weight around. Well, eventually the Jazz just said, nope, he's not good enough to play. It's not helping us with our long-term vision. And they gave him his shot and it wasn't good enough. I don't know if THT is even a rotation player in the NBA. End of bench guy, sure. But we really saw that he's just not the type. I mean, it's just frustrating. He won us a few games last year because we could have gotten a higher pick. But I think the draft worked out nicely for Utah. But anyways, long story short, yeah, Rich Paul wants to be the agent. I'd move from BBTV in a second. But anyways, I talked to my agent. It was great. Helped things out. Coaching has been taking it out of me. I think I'm gonna reduce it. Gray's, he's my boy, and he plays great. And I think I probably bit off more than I could chew, because we've got Junior Jazz, 2 comp leagues, multiple practices. I've got like 5-6 days of basketball a week of just practice. It's 5 a week. I've been able to reduce it to 4, and I'm feeling a little better. I just put on too much on my plate. And so I'm excited for the end of February when Junior Jazz can be done. Even though I've enjoyed it, it's a lot of fun. The kids are great. It's always rewarding to watch those kids learn the basketball skills. Shout out to the Space Penguins. That is the name of my Junior Jets team. Space Penguins got their win without me. I hope they went to the huddle and said, this one's for Coach Hansen, because I got suspended for that game and they won. But shout out the Space Penguins, man. Maybe if the Jazz ever change their name, they should be the Penguins. I don't know. But anyways, I'm feeling refreshed and excited, and it always helps to get a nice win. And sometimes this channel is, you can like literally watch me lose my mind, but it can be a little therapeutic, which is nice. And I think the channel is going to really grow. Thank you to JR. Shout out to JR, helping me out, giving me some one-on-one calls. We're finally getting my channel review and some other things. So pretty darn nice, makes me happy. And giving me some inside info on how some of these other YouTubers do what they do. There's been lots of questions I've had, like, why is this guy able to do this and why am I not? And what is this guy doing, and blah, 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 blah. So he's been teaching me. I have to just start putting in certain effort in certain ways. That's going to be kind of, there's things I've just got to learn. So I've got a lot of learning and growing to do, which I think is only going to make this channel better. And long term, I could see this channel growing pretty nice. So if you're new here, it would be great if you would like and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. Be a part of that growth. We're over 10,000. Let's get to 20. Let's get to 15, and let's just keep growing because why not? All right, let's see. We have got to start the music, guys. Thanks for putting up with my little rant there. Getting pissed. I needed to get that out. All right, let's look at the Tankathon. With this win, it keeps the Jazz above the Lakers. I believe the Jazz have the tiebreaker with the Lakers, so this is important, actually. Just need to tie with the Lakers. You get the tiebreaker, I believe. In fact, let's just verify that really fast. So, let's go to Utah, schedule, and then let's just do... So, the Jazz beat the Lakers there, lost there. Uh-oh. All right, big game against the Lakers on Valentine's Day. The Jazz better make it happen. All right, I lost my voice. Dang it. All right, let's see. So, Tankathon. Utah is tied with the Lakers at 13. 7-3 in their last 10. There's still a chance to really get into this out of the lottery, so they avoid possibly winning the lottery. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. These are the guys, honestly, I appreciate all my members, but I especially appreciate the All-Stars. You are the ones that are the producers of the show, and let's give you a shout out. All right, let's give a shout out to Dirty Jazz Car Wash Channel, Just Buckets JB, Baby Elliot Matson, Christian House Money to Haas, The Outlaw Jesse James Nelson, all the Josh you need, just Josh in your pod, Ryan Perry, the legend, Ezekiel Raicibe, the man from down under. Yes, Jake C. Can, baby. See ya, Lexa later, Bill Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arrizaga, mi amigo de abajo, Jordan the Goat, Besserell, TGD Total Game Domination, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, Austin our Grant Editor Extraordinaire, KO to Oh My Abaji, DWCB, Patrick Kakubo, the Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. Guys, let's see, did I miss anything? I don't want to miss a super chat. Did we get one? All right, there we go. Tell them, James. Thank you, Diego. Guys, like and subscribe to the channel. Go to pricemix.com. If you want to support the channel, hit join. That would be awesome. All right, guys, I will talk to you next time.